What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Slackerz, bringing you guys our next matchup in the Everyone Is Here tournament. So if you haven't seen it before, simple, quick breakdown. 100 characters get put into a tournament, and then each day on the channel, except for Sundays, I upload one of the matches from the tournament. I'll talk about the two characters in the match for the day, go over maybe some facts or maybe a mini moveset pool, maybe make like a mini case why they could make sense for Smash DLC, and then we'll vote down in the comments. But voting is a part of, well, all the rest of the rules, so we'll throw up the rest of the rules on screen for you guys. And rules are very simple. First one, this tournament, this whole thing is for fun. What does that necessarily mean? If you like a character and they happen to be in the match, feel free to vote for them regardless of their situation. So, as an example, we have assist trophies, me costumes, spirits, characters that are, just confirmed, they'll never happen. Who cares? If you like a character, feel free to vote for him. It's all good. It's all for fun. All for fun. But, next rule, you only get one vote per person. But the way to vote, though, if you're wondering that, because that's a big part of this whole thing, down in the comments you simply type the name of the character that you're voting for that's in the match for the day. Simple stuff. But remember, one vote per person. You are allowed to vote for both characters by simply typing both if you like both the characters, or if you just have a difficult time trying to decide who you're going to vote for. Voting both is totally fine. All good. But remember, one vote per person. Rest of the rules, double elimination tournament, meaning a character has to lose twice before being officially eliminated. And then once we get to the results to determine winner and losers, if there happens to be a tie, we'll flip a coin on camera. It's the fairest way to break a tie. And then each matchup, voting-wise, only lasts for just 1 week. So, you only have 7 days from after this video gets uploaded to get your votes in. Anything that comes in after that, well, sorry, votes don't count. Those are the rules, so let's get to the results and the matchup for the day, shall we? Alright, so we're back. So the results from last week, last Saturday, was the matchup of Funky Kong. And Funky Kong was taking on Tracer from Overwatch, and this one was as close as you can get without it being tied. 1 vote separated the winner and the loser, and I did count a couple times to, affirm to make sure that I had the correct number, just in case anyone's wondering. So the winner by 1 vote for this matchup is, there it is, Tracer ended up winning this one 33 votes to just 32 votes for Funky Kong. So congrats, Tracer moves on to face Nightmare from Soul Calibur in the next round, and that'll be matchup 107. We're currently on like 80 something, so that's coming up in a couple weeks, but we'll get there when we get there. So sadly though, Funky Kong eliminated. Goodbye. I think Funky Kong went 0-2. Yeah, Funky Kong didn't even win a match this tournament, so I guess not a lot of people like Funky Kong. Maybe not. Anyway, that's it for that. So let's go to the matchup for the day. Where are we at here? Match 84. Chibi Robo from the Custom Robo series, we'll say, is taking on an indie character, an indie darling, Hat Kid. So could be fun. Hat Kid. I see Hat Kid kind of get a couple mixed reactions, so we'll see how she plays out in this one. But let's do this. So Chibi, I like Chibi for a couple of reasons, but I'll get into that in a second. So Chibi Custom Robo is pretty much a, I hate to say it, but it's pretty much a dead franchise, right? Didn't they kind of say something along the lines of like after the Ziplash or whatever the last Custom Robo game was on the 3DS? Wasn't that Ziplash, I think? Did they say after that it was kind of like, we're going to leave it here, whatever. I don't think it sold extremely well either, but it's a character that they have. It's a character that has generated a tiny bit of buzz in the past. There was, before Smash Ultimate got announced officially, or we even had that teaser trailer, there was an image, I believe it was on Twitter, where it was Chibi Robo, the character, actually on fire, and then we came to associate, the Smash Ball being on fire, and everyone's like, oh, Chibi, was that like a hint or whatever? So, well, obviously it wasn't, because Chibi's not playable or an assist trophy, but Chibi is a spirit, though. Is a spirit. But, yeah, it's kind of like a character that's there, and it will be in the conversation if somebody's just like, oh yeah, don't forget about Chibi. Chibi Robo's here too. And then a couple of people will be like, oh yeah, Chibi, nice character. Would be a pretty fun addition to the roster, right? Could be enjoyable. Would be a fun little character. He'd be definitely a smaller character, height-wise, weight, hitbox, all that sort of stuff. Be a smaller character, but it could be kind of a fun character. So you can see a couple things here on screen. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. All right, I got a Chibi Blaster. Toothbrush would be extremely funny. Chibi Copter, use that for like a recovery sort of move. Boombox, kind of fun. The Giga Robo, that's perfect for a Final Smash. A lot of the playstyle you can definitely use around with the plug-in, not the outlet, but the plug-in that comes out of Chibi's whatever, that's attached to Chibi. So you could use that for quite a bit. Use it as a whip. We do have a whip user. 2 users in the game, Simon and Richter, but you could use it as a whip, you could use it as a lasso, you could, I don't know, use it as pretty fun, like back airs, up air, something like that. Pretty cool stuff. I like, Chibi's a fun little character though. It's kind of like, it would make, I don't know, I think Chibi makes a fine addition to the roster, but if we're going to be honest, and we're talking about DLC here, Chibi's just not a character that you look at and go, yeah, that's DLC material right there. Especially the way that the DLC is going for Smash Ultimate. Not knocking Chibi whatsoever, but it's just, if Nintendo's going DLC and they continue going the route that they're on, third party pretty much. Well, Chibi's going to be out of the running. Although, again, additional DLC, we have no idea what's coming with that, right? Anybody's on the table. Chibi's on the table for that one. We'll see if it gets plugged into the conversation on that one. But, again, even with the additional DLC, and if they go first-party characters, there's still so many more that get requested and have a larger fan base than Chibi. Just for example, Waluigi, Bandana Waddle Dee's definitely up there. Somebody from Legend of Zelda, there's a lot of different candidates there. Dixie Kong, playable version of Toad, just to name a couple. There's so many first-party characters that are ahead, at least in my opinion, I feel that are much more deserving to get in the roster for playable characters instead of Chibi, but again, my opinion, maybe Chibi's your number one want, and if he is, feel free to drop a vote for him, all good, but again, doesn't scream Smash Ultimate DLC to me, but I think, like, I don't know, if the franchise kept going and if we were going to get new additions or new entries into his series, it'd make a bit more sense. But yeah, it's hard. I don't even know who I'm voting for in this one, to be honest. 2 characters that I'm not really big fans of, but I look at both the characters. Speaking of the other character, Hat Kid, I look at the character and I kind of go, all right, they could be enjoyable, their play style wise, but it might be like a middle of the road kind of character for me in terms of playtime and just, I don't know, just, yeah, I guess playtime overall. I just kind of view both these characters as like, all right, I'll play them a few times, and unless I really get attached to the character, it's going to be another one of those characters that just sit there and go, I'm here on the roster, and I'll be like, I'm not picking you, bye. I got like 50 other characters I can play that I thoroughly enjoy more. But who cares about what I think about the character? So let's talk Hat Kid, though. Hat in Time sold very well. I believe, didn't it sell over 1 million copies? Or am I getting that confused with something else? I always get my indie titles mixed up. But I think A Hat in Time sold pretty well. It had a lot of buzz when the game came out, and a lot of people thoroughly enjoyed it, which was great. People enjoy the game. It just helps the franchise build and grow from there and get the character's name out there a little bit more. Plus, Nintendo has their thing with the indies. They just had a Nindy Direct. What was that, last week? So, kind of, they got good relationship, and I think probably next Smash game, I really don't think an actual indie character is going to become playable in Smash Ultimate, especially through DLC. I think that indie character, much better chance next Smash game on the next Nintendo console, but that's a different time, that's a different period. We can talk about that way in the future if we want. But Hat Kid would be a somewhat unique character. So she does have her hat, and she's got the umbrella. Obviously, you can tell that by her design. And in the like her move set, it could be she's kind of like I don't know how to. I don't want to say like a projectile. I'm trying to think like what's the best way to kind of like describe what her play style would be. I'll just describe a few moves. So she's got the umbrella. Obviously, you can use that for a couple attacks. She has the projectile badge. Basically, it can shoot out a bunch of projectiles. Way to I described that one so well. But what else does she have? She has a scooter, so you could do that as a side special. I always say I think that's similarly to somewhat of Wario's bike, potentially. It has a hookshot badge. There's a few other things people always bring up, and I always forget when Hat Kid comes up. So if you have anything that you would add to Hat Kid's potential moveset, again, drop it in the comment section. But she's got some pretty cool things. Does she have a brewing hat? Is she like a witch? Nah, she's not really a witch. Whatever. I don't know. I haven't played the game. It's not something I'm really interested in either. I got a ton of other. I'd have like a ton of other indie games that I'd played before Hat in Time. Nothing against Hat in Time, because I've heard nothing but good things about it, to be completely honest. But I don't know. I guess the biggest factor is that indie character being in Smash Bros, right? Would Hat Kid be that #1 character that most people think of? Maybe you could throw her hat in the ring for consideration, but I don't think she's like Sans would be in the conversation. Obviously, as the Mii costume, so maybe for Smash Ultimate, not going to happen. But if we're talking future of Smash Bros, future installments of Smash, Sans is going to be in there. Shantae's got to be in there. Shovel Knight was the closest we've gotten. Well, okay, Sans is kind of the closest we've got to a playable indie character. But Shovel Knight's got to be in there. You got the assist trophy treatment. And Shantae only had the spirit, so it's kind of like, okay, looks like maybe Nintendo is favoring Shovel Knight a little bit more. Depends on how you want to look at that. But you got Quote from Cave Story. You got, is it Rimu from the Toho Project? Isn't she indie character? There's a lot of names that float around, and personally, I don't see Hat Kid. I'd see her name pop up, but not as much as some of these other indie characters that would maybe make more sense to be in the roster or deserve to be playable before, you know. I don't know. It's a very big topic of debate. Which indie character should be the first one to be a playable rep in Smash Bros? And once that happens, that's just a big accomplishment for any indie studios in general. It's like, hey, you worked hard enough, you got a lot of fans behind it, and Nintendo's thoroughly behind it, obviously, if they're going to consider putting your character in Smash. So, kind of fun stuff. Maybe she happens. I don't think so. But, who am I voting for on this one? Who am I voting for? I guess, since, like I said, I'm not a big fan of any of these characters, to be honest, but I'm going to vote Hat Kid just because I guess the indie character, I'd like to see that finally get checked off the list, you know, for me personally. That's something I do want to see. So, I guess Hat Kid gets my vote in this one. Again, two characters that I don't look at and go, yep, they're DLC potential. They're definitely DLC worthy. I don't look at them that way right now, so whatever. It is what it is. I'm voting Hat Kid, so that is going to be it for this one. So, little sneak peek for Monday. Little sneak peek. We should have a... Okay, this should be kind of interesting. I'm curious to see how she bounces back. The matchup for Monday is going to be Arle Naja from the Puyo Puyo series. And she's taking on Porky Minch from the Earthbound Mother series. So we'll see that. Because I hear Arle's name get thrown around quite a bit. And she lost her first match. Actually, I want to see who she lost to. Hold up. Who did Arle lose to? Arle. Where'd she lose? I gotta find this out because I'm actually curious now. It's here somewhere. Did she lose to Gino or something like that? I think she lost to Gino. Where's Gino? Yeah, she lost to Gino 77-34. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how she bounces back in her match, and we'll see how Porky does, obviously, as well. And then we'll get the results for Elma against Velvet Crow. So that's Monday, but today's wrapping up. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.